All right, so welcome everybody. Look, it's when did we stop that? Okay, so we had Real Talk until 2013 maybe?
No.
Yeah.
Dankoi was one or two, well, yeah,
So
2013.
2013. So this is the first time we're doing live recording anything
Together.
really together, which is interesting. I got to stay here so those Instagram people can see.
Interesting.
Yeah, so what have you been doing? What's your show? What the heck's
What
going on?
have I been doing besides having children? Okay, so
Yeah, because like that's hard.
that drinking my coffee here.
Yeah, you do that while I
So-
raise this chair up a little bit.
As you know, you have Unlighten Me, and we decided to split in that way. And my new YouTube podcast, webcast, whatever you want to call it, is called Hands to the Face. It is
Which I like that. Where did that come from? Because the people need to know where did Hands to the Face come from.
Hands to the Face. If most people probably know, is a reference, a football reference. So it's a penalty in football. When trying to come up with a name for my show, it's been spitballing a little bit back and forth. I liked Real Talk.
The Real Talk was fun, but it was, for those that don't know, it was massively produced. There was a lot of production.
No. The point is, it was. We talked mostly about fitness, and it's not something that I'm horribly passionate about anymore. So when thinking, what do I like? What do I like to do? What do I want to talk about? Football always comes up. So I think Hands to the Face was just, you can use it in all kinds of aspects, aside from football, but just life in general.
Yeah, but see, the interesting thing is this, is if you ask her, what was the location in which this name was determined, right? Because see, you got to remember, it's 45 seconds ago, you're like, yeah, because the fitness thing isn't that important to me. But then, which I think is ironic, that
it was decided while we were on a treadmill.
We were on the treadmill,
right? Because he makes me go to the gym.
It is. It's pretty much. It's a make. I mean, that's
he
why.
makes me go to the gym.
Yeah, that's why
I
we
walk on the treadmill for 15 minutes before we work out, and just talk to you for the other 15 minutes while you finish.
It works.
And so no, the point is, mine hasn't gone up yet. It's there's a bit of a delay for me just because I know it's probably the wrong way to go, and you're just post, just get content, get material, and I'm struggling with I just want it to be right, and I know that's the wrong way to go, but
because it's the massive like conundrum, the yin yang, the black white. Underthink it, overthink it is really the way that goes.
Well, no, I think what it is, honestly, when we had Real Talk, we had about 20,000 viewers.
Yeah.
Right. And the truth is, for anybody who may know us, our story, any part of your story, doing anything with you is comfortable, and it's also difficult. Because you know a lot about a lot of things. There's a lot of things that we can banter about and talk about. So that fear of, being finally separated and on my own, everybody knows Jason. Everybody, especially in the fitness industry, they may
not everybody knows Jason.
It's very polarizing. They either like you a lot or they hate you. And a large percentage of people who hate you, I would say, don't know why they hate you. It's just because you take hard stances on certain things, whether it's drug use or whatever. So again, just getting back to that, I just I want the material to be good, and I think, like you said, as soon as I just do it, it's better. Just because I'm better on the fly, and I'm better just being allowed to be funny and not whatever.
Yeah, see, and then you touch a little bit on mine, so my 2 cents, and like I said, when I get to 100,000 followers, I'll go to 3 cents. But can you see it all? Who's it? I think that's Jenny. I think that's Jenny.
Glasses on. Jordan is in.
Oh, the long thing over there. I don't know. That's a whole bunch of people watching that.
A lot
It
of people
doesn't.
join, but hello.
Anyway, so yeah, so then that's your Hands to the Face show. Mine,
Hands to the
Unlighten
Face.
Me, is really based on. To sum it up real quick, is I'm frustrated as shit on having to keep my mouth closed for various reasons over the decades, be it legal reasons, contractual reasons, matters of national security, all kinds of nonsense that's going on. So I got pretty sick of it, and so now I decided that I would bring a spectrum and array of guests on that I can be me, I can be honest. I can say what I need to say that's truthful, and
You're going to offend a lot of people.
it may be offensive to people, but 100% of everything I say, although we can all vary in opinions, is based on logic, is based on science, is based on a lot of things. So
Like that view right there. There we go.
that's it, you know? Yeah.
Sorry.
So we've got a couple recorded. I've got a whole bunch of guests lined up, and it'll be fine. It'll be offensive,
Okay.
not for the light-hearted.
Not for the lighthearted.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who are joining us again, my name is Stephanie. This is Jason. My show is Hands to the Face. His is called Unlighten Me. Today we're going to talk really just about a little bit of everything, just because we haven't done it in a while, live.
Yes, we're working out a kink special for you.
No kinks. I don't have kinks. I just
got kinks
knock the
like
dust
a
off and it's
mother.
good. We'll touch a little bit on fitness just because there's a hashtag going around of unpopular opinions.
Oh, yeah. So anybody that's watching, one of the trending hashtags is hashtag confess your unpopular opinion.
Okay, so if you guys, anybody in the chat room, if you guys have one, go ahead and type it in and I'll see if I can read it. Somebody else joined. So one thing that we talk so much fitness, but what trips me out about people not necessarily in the industry, it could be general gym goers, it could be clients, it could be whatever you want to call it. They're so careful about finding an expert or finding, if I have a problem with my car, I'm going to go to a mechanic.
Yeah, I just know where this is going.
You know
so,
where this is going.
Absolutely.
If I have a problem with my eyes, I'm going to go to the eye doctor. I'm not going to go to the dentist, right? I mean, and that's very specific. But my point is, I don't understand then why people are so willing to pay somebody who is half naked on Instagram for nutritional and workout advice.
Yeah.
But then they don't want to pay you for your expertise.
And I'm going to get killed on this, but I don't give. I got to go PG with your show, with you being on, but it's okay.
But you don't have.
So I'm going to get destroyed for this, but the truth is, I know primarily where this is coming from, and I even shared this with a few, literally like maybe 2 or 3 friends, that someone actually states that they are not certified, they are not degreed, they are open about not being educated or any of these things in the world of fitness planning, strength training, nutritional advice, so on and so forth. They actually, this is a big disclaimer. Mm-hmm. So they're open and honest, which I appreciate the hell out of that. That's awesome. But then they sell plans.
So right.
$200 and $300 in plans.
Right. So why are people willing to do that? And then, but I think, you know what I think it is a lot of people, we set ourselves up for failure. It's almost on purpose, right?
Yeah.
So when Jane, who constantly struggles with her weight, I really just like to snack and eat junk food and blah, blah, blah. I'm finally going to do it. I'm finally getting on this plan. I did it. I paid for it. And it didn't work. So I just quit.
Yeah.
That's a way out. Now, I'm not saying everybody, but my point is I don't understand why is it such a struggle, for somebody. And like I've said before, I think that there should be some sort of, I don't want to say governing body, but something that basically watches over, I want to say trainers. If you want to call yourself that, because it's too easy to go to a corporate gym and become a trainer. You may have taken one online course, took some first aid, took some whatever, and you're a trainer. I got clients. Okay, so if I say, Joe, brand new trainer, blah, 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 she's 72 years old, she's got knee problems, she's got da-da-da-da. What do you do? Or so whatever the situation is. So my point is, if you have a degree, how many different certifications you have, if you specialize in something else, if you have a PhD, how are people with less education, and I hate to keep referring to you, you just happen to be sitting in front of me, making $100 an hour, $85 an hour, when their main claim to fame is that they just have a lot of clients. They have a lot of clients, they have classes, they have this whatever, but they have one or 2 certifications.
Yeah, or they're known for flirting online, or they're known for other things that are going on. And that $85 to $100 reference per hour is Houston, Texas. Mm-hmm. So obviously New York, that would reference to probably closer to $175, $200 an hour. LA would be about $200, $225 an hour. That's kind of just to give people, if anybody's watching across, when you state that's kind of.
So what is it?
Bracelets. I don't know. And what blew my mind is the one we're kind of referencing under our breaths, but not really because it's live. Thousands of purchases in less than 24 or 48 hours.
For this person.
Thousands.
I'm curious, if anybody at some point can chime in the chat room, or if you can post it on one of our pages. It doesn't make any sense to me. And me in general, when something doesn't make sense, it drives me.
I think people
bananas.
fitness is intimidating as shit for anybody. And even when you get an intermediate athlete of any sport or anything, be it any primary big three sports or perimeter sports or even the physique things, intermediate going to transitioning to advanced levels of fitness or strength training, it's intimidating. They're like, crap, what do I do? Well, if you try to do a little self-study and you Google it, you're going to get confused because there's 87 views on how to increase your 40. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, there's fragments of those 87 views that are great and that work and are awesome, but there isn't a way. Mm-hmm. And of those 87 views, you have 87 different varieties of certifications and education and experience and, so on and so forth all the way through. So I think it's confusing. It's intimidating. It's hard as shit to filter through what's right, what's wrong. So I think with this one, where the girl is...
But if you... I get what you're saying. It can be confusing because we had that question. I think it was yesterday we were having a conversation with a friend that asked, hey, this guy, I know he's in his 40s. He's never really worked out. He wants to bulk up. That generic question you always get. What does he do? And I made a statement somewhere in there about, it's not that difficult. And she in turn said, what about for somebody who's never done it before?
Yeah. And
that's completely true. Is we look at it through our own lens of this is our reality of what we know, this universe of knowledge. And Joe may not know that. And that's fine. So I get the confusion part. But if somebody straight up says, I don't have a degree in this, I didn't take any nutritional classes. So let's blanket this and then move on to another subject. The point is then it makes it more difficult for the actual professionals.
Yes.
When you come in and say, well, I'm going to charge you, it could be more, it could be less. I'm going to charge you $100 an hour just to, let's get your profile of this. Let's even get some blood work. Let's do whatever we're going to do. And then it delegitimizes somebody.
Yes.
Then they feel like, oh my God.
My last 2 cents on it is that for all it takes is one person to have success with the person who is undegreed, uncertified, who has no experience. One person gets success there, then that massively devalues everyone else that has the degrees and has the certification, has the decades of experience and blah, 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 and so on and so forth. So it's all it takes is one. So everyone that's out there that's like, oh, I just want to support this person. Mm-hmm. If this person doesn't have the credentials or whatnot for a specialized thing, I'm not talking about general business or crafts or products and things like that, but service-based industry, if they don't have those credentials and that experience, you're feeding the negativity. You're making it harder for the professionals to actually earn a living.
I like looking at my people.
Yeah, no, there's people.
Okay, so anyways.
Yeah, that's far. That's
my people. I miss it. I miss the live banter. I miss down the toilet. I miss it all.
So I'm going to take that. Okay, so
I'm going to put my hair up.
Yeah. So we're talking about the gym and things like that. So obviously this isn't about the gym specifically, but I want to go. It's Monday. Right? Yes. Everything's about #Motivational Monday, right?
Motivation Monday.
So I want to talk motivation.
Okay.
And I want to talk motivation from a personal sense to applying it to life, which can be fitness, which can be business, which can be whatever the hell, right?
Okay.
It doesn't
really
matter.
Motivation.
And so I want to take something like, I'm going to go a little bit on kind of the entrepreneur side of things.
Okay.
And saying what you were saying earlier when we opened the show is how I'm not going to call it motivation, but your desire is to have a more refined show and product before you put it out there. Mm-hmm. And that my desire is, I don't give a shit, just start recording and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Right? What motivates, what's your motivation to it's weird to say these two words together, but your motivation to have the hesitation before you want to put it out there?
What is my motive? See, I think you're looking at it the wrong way. And again, everybody's different, and we always try to say, especially here, you have to try to see things through other people's eyes. So I'm always open to see, okay, is there something that I'm missing? Do I have this wrong? Is my stance so narrow that, there's always more to learn, right? So in this case, this specific case in a vacuum is, I don't know that it's the motivation question. It's the other way. It's the insecurity. And so across the table is someone who has, I've been in front of the camera, I've done things like that, but movies, screen tests, blah blah blah, commercials, video. I mean, you've done it. You're like, if you do it like this, like you'll do a product review, and you'll talk about here's creatine and here's this and that and blah blah blah, blah. And I'm like, oh well, when did they give you the lines? You're like, oh, I just did it on the fly. Like, I can't do that.
I can't. And then people watching, like, you know, and there's, I can't. Yes, I can read. Obviously, I'm highly educated, but I can't do reads.
Right.
Like, if somebody said, hey, here's 3 sentences, do a live read on this, I'm like, hell with that. Like, I've got to actually go in, read it beforehand, to come on and just fly it. Like, know what I'm talking about. So I'm genuine and authentic and
right.
such with it. Yeah.
So again, just going back, you've always been the type of person that you command a room, you're comfortable in anything you do. I think, again, with the life experience that you have, it doesn't matter what topic it is. I was telling somebody this the other day. If you talk about architecture, if you talk about culture in China, if you talk about like Dancing with the Stars will come on and you're like, oh, she's not doing that right. The counts are supposed to be like this. So you know a little bit about everything.
I think it's funny because I do that. And then the judges come on later, and one of the judges will wind up saying what I said. And she's like, how do you do that? I'm like,
the point is, it's very easy to be comfortable, I think, when you know a little bit about everything, right? Yeah. Whereas I walk into a room, and we've had this discussion before, especially about, you know, our 6-year-old of shyness and being an extrovert at the same time. When I know what I'm doing, whether it's cheer, like you could tell me on the fly like that, you got to do choreography, you got to do this, that, the other. I had to dance at the opening of the Harlem Globetrotters game. They just, oh, hey, do you want to do something? Do you want to volunteer? Awesome. I was like, sure. No clue what I was going to do. And they're like, oh, you need to dance at center court, you know, as a dance contest or whatever.
That was. I'm totally going to edit that into this video online, okay, so you know that. Okay.
So I very easily could have freaked out, like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm look stupid in front of all these people. There's a lot of people there. Yeah. But I felt comfortable in this situation. But, you know, if, you know, there was an audition I did not too long ago. It was in Dallas, and they didn't tell me what it was about. They just said, asked me a couple of questions. They're like, dance. And it was like classical music. It was something, it made no sense to me, and I was so uncomfortable. Yeah. So the point is, it's not a motivation thing. But if we want to get back on track, we've had this discussion years ago on Real Talk about, I forgot the type of motivation it was called. But when you're motivated through the negative parts of your life. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. We talk about, you know, destination, whatever the word is. I'm sorry, my coffee's not kicking in. That you're not happy until you reach some certain benchmark of your life. Yeah. Right. So motivation, we've discussed before, it's a little bit different for everybody. But, and you know, there's all these, I don't want to say cliche because that's the wrong word, but everybody gets into their little gimmicks. So now it's kind of like, what's your why? And that's, I say gimmick just because you kind of hear it everywhere in all kinds of advertising. And when it gets to that point,
it's like a gimmick.
When it has to be campy to get people to get behind it, it's a phenomenal message. And it makes complete sense. It's very succinct. Yes. What's your why? I get it, but it's too, like I said, campy and whatever now. We've had this discussion before, whether it was about nutrition or diet or working out or whatever, switching jobs. Mm-hmm. You know, finally, everybody has to have that little spark. So are you talking daily motivation? Are you talking? And
that's kind of, that was my point. And we touched on that. I know some of you guys watched or listened to my deal with Ryan. Episode 1 of mine with Ryan, and we talked a little bit on this, is that effectively, you know, motivation is the spark, and that's all it really can be. So one of the things that's out there is that, yes, we all need some motivation, and we all are motivated by something, even though it may not be memes and what social media provides now. So one of the things that's out there is that you need to get the spark and go. And whatever, if that's, you can call it dedication, you can call it tenacity, you can call it anything you want. But if you're one of those people that every day you need multiple times a day, you've got to read something that gives you that spark or see something that gives you that spark, you're not doing the right thing. You can't be. Because if you're doing the right thing and you're pursuing the right thing, and then again, like I said, this is on the entrepreneur side of things and business side, and it could be school and education. On the entrepreneur side and that side, yes, because you hear it all the time. If it doesn't keep you awake at night, if your mind isn't constantly moving about it, if you're not constantly trying to think of the next thing, then you're not doing what you love. Exactly. Absolutely.
But, we're talking other things. And I hate to keep going back to like working out or things like that. But that's the thing is that it's very, those are things that are very
even
easy
working
to
out,
quit.
you could apply that to working out. So if you go and you're like, okay, I do cardio and I do weights and I spend 45 minutes or an hour at the gym 4 days a week and I'm miserable as shit and I have to get those memes every time and I've got to watch something fitness motivational before I go work out or otherwise I'm just not going to do it. All right, switch it. Go do a body pump class or a kickboxing class or do the yoga and do the Pilates, like start expanding because you haven't found.
But isn't it simply that everybody is just built differently?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Like there are some people that they are born to win and there's some people that they could care less. Mm-hmm. And there's some people that I don't need anything to get me out of bed in the morning. I'm alive. I'm getting out of bed and I'm going to hit the ground. Like they said, make it such that you're the type of person that when your feet hit the ground in the morning, you
just go.
The devil's like, oh shit, because you're going to take over. But
okay, look, you said the devil, so I gotta ask you. So there's the thing. Okay, this is real. Okay, and I didn't know this was
is
really
this real.
real.
Is you telling our son that there are midget vampires?
We do have midget vampires, and they're the ones that move stuff around and keep him on his toes. So no, this is actually real, and I didn't know this was real until I'm going to say like 4 months ago, 5 months ago. I'd heard this, and I just never researched. I didn't give it any validity. But there's this whole like flat Earth movement, right? And you said the devil, and and so that made me jump into this, and it ties in my brain, not a lot of people's brain, but it does in mine. There's a lot of people out there that think the Earth is flat, and it's a conspiracy by our government that it's round.
That's like a thing?
Oh, that's real. And it's hashtag flat Earth something. And as I'm saying that, I just went blank.
So all the globe makers are currently dying.
So it's not.
I just don't understand.
It's an optical illusion. Oh my God. And the photos from space are, dude.
Hey, look, I'll put it this way. There's a lot of things. The flat Earth thing I cannot get behind.
That's awesome.
We've had discussions before that. No, there's a lot of things that we don't know. And there's a lot of things that I'm sure the government knows that we don't know. There's a lot of things that, I just don't pay attention to and I don't know. Yeah. So I can't be ignorant enough to say that does not exist. But for you to try to tell me that the Earth is in fact flat.
It's
and
not.
It's a conspiracy.
Because I saw some stupid meme somewhere like a month and a half ago. Something to the effect of, the Earth can't be flat because if it was, all the cats would have gone to the edge and knocked everything off.
Sons of bitches. Like, so to your point of your show, Unlighten Me, like, do you ever feel like after talking to some people that you lose so many brain cells?
Yes. A lot.
Okay, so you have to, for anybody watching, we've been together 10 years and it's taken me, I don't say 10 years, it's taken a long time. But when I finally figured out watching you interact with people when you are simply entertaining them. Uh-huh. And I feel like I can almost get in your head that they're saying something and you're like, yeah, oh, exactly. Yeah, oh, that's crazy. I'm like, oh, he's entertaining them. So when I finally figured out that you did that to me, I was like, oh, hell, no, I am not. No.
Yes. Once or twice that happened.
No, but it's a very intimidating thing knowing that, okay, your level of knowledge is IQ of 200. I have no idea what mine is. I'm an intelligent.
It's 199.8.
Right. I am an intelligent woman. I know a little bit about a lot of things. I don't know as much as you do. And so to keep up with your so then you flip it. I cannot tell you how many times he's been speaking and he's talking to me about string theory or outer space or something, one of these History Channel shows he's watching, looking you dead in the face, and I'm thinking about what I'm going to eat later. Like, man, do I want to cook a steak? And then again,
which I know is happening.
I'm
very aware it's happening.
I know you know. I really do try to listen though. Like I try to say, okay. And this is the bad part. It's not what can I offer. It's what have I heard before on one of his shows that I can regurgitate and like give it back to you. Yeah. Just to show that I in fact listen to what you're saying.
Poor Richard, the tattoo artist that I went to. I don't even remember how it came up. There was I think there was a scientist on Rogan's show or something that we were watching. It was some deal, and he brought up something about the space-time continuum. And then so like 15, 20 minutes went past, and I was like, oh, wait, I should probably shut up. He hasn't said anything. Yeah. And he was like, oh, wow, you really know a lot.
Well, yeah, you do. So the point
I
is,
blasted him, but I just felt bad for him because I cooked his brain for 15 to 20 minutes.
But that's good. People need that. But unfortunately, when there's no one else around and I'm on the receiving end, it's just kind of like, I want to talk about what I saw on ESPN earlier. Speaking of, Jay Cutler went to Miami, a year contract.
10 million. Up to 13 million if he hits his benchmarks.
Okay, so Tannehill's going to be out for an undisclosed amount of time.
Yeah, he's not going to play this season unless some crazy crap happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Jay Cutler, 1 year contract, $10 million. Good or bad decision?
$10 to $13 million absolute mistake. Total mistake.
Okay, so I know that you have advised some NFL owners at times. So if you were to advise prior, what would you have?
Save the $10 to $13 million. Do the absolute best you can with Moore, who is a current backup.
Okay.
Right? Who is not bad.
No.
He's just, young and just needs a little stuff.
How long has he been in the system? A couple of years?
I think 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to say 2, and I could be off a little bit with that, but save the 10 to 13 million. Do the absolute best you can. Give Tannehill all the time he needs to recover, and then really focus.
Well, if they
on
believe
next
that's
year.
their guy. If they believe that's their guy.
They've proven that's his guy because the extensions and all this other stuff, And
do we have to start it again?
one of those went. I think it was that one.
I think it was this one.
Yeah, just leave. That one's fine.
That's fine.
So I'm gonna keep talking, but I'm gonna stop that one.
Okay, so I'm gonna if these I don't know if these people are still in here. Well, they're gone now, I think.
No, you can't tell because it doesn't give you the real stats.
Oh, okay. Well, they're down, but then
it doesn't.
But then it goes back up like this.
So my deal is that so put all your resources, do the best you can, save that $10 to $13 million, have it available for next year, or for trades, or for something spectacular that comes up, because you're looking at a solid 9 to 11 win team with the Dolphins with a healthy Tannehill in that system. They were 10-6 last year. I think they were 9-7 the year before that. I think they were 10-6 the year. I mean, they were close to that those last years. Last year they had a really horrible start, but they finished strong.
Yeah.
Right? So made the playoffs. So for $10 million, what extra is Cutler going to do for you? He's not. It's a new system for him. It's a very different system. And there's some same coaching and things that are involved, but there's a different system than what he had in Chicago. He's proven over the years to be one of the best stat gatherers, but to collect the losses, even getting these insane stats. I mean, there's been times where he's the top-rated quarterback in the league, and they've got 2 wins, and they're 2-10 or some bullshit. But it's ridiculous. I don't get it. It's not long term because after this year, you can't have Tannehill and Cutler on the roster. Neither one of them are going to take a backup role. So, what's the literally you're trying to make something happen in 1 year, and you're gonna spend.
How many people did they lose from last year?
I don't know 100%. Like usually, I start looking at that like second, third week of the preseason. So.
Interesting, because like you said, they lost that $10 million. So what other pieces could they have put around? To you know what I mean?
Look at what you need. I mean, look at what the league's saying. You need speed. You need defensive speed, right? So people that can react. And you need offensive line,
right? Which
they're doing fine because it's not a matter of what can we just go get. It's what's available, and you hear that all the time. So you could say, oh, well, they need a better running back. Okay, what better running back systems or what collectively, even if you were to group them, what better running backs are available that they can get a hold of?
Who do they have right now?
Man, they switched it all up. So and then I
Bush is
suck
gone,
so bad
right?
with names, yeah. And but when you go through, I should have pulled their roster because I knew you were going to say this. But they're okay at their receiver positions and their running back positions and some of their key defense. So it's just strengthen everything around what you have to give Moore a better chance at what he's going to do this year. You're going to develop him and then make it stronger so whenever Tannehill comes back, you're set. Worst case scenario with that really is you develop more. Now you've got a higher valued trade asset for next year. So, I mean, it's one of those things that I don't
So then
get
do
why
you
they're
feel
toasting
like-
the money.
Do you feel like it's ownership? And of course, there's 30 plus teams across the league, but I feel like some teams just do it better, you know? And I'll take my Patriots, of course,
Yeah.
but I always feel like it doesn't matter if you've been here for years. It doesn't matter if you performed awesome last year. What do we need today? And what do we need for the future? Like, you know, it's kind of like,
there are some teams, Patriots, the Packers, usually the Steelers, and there's a few others. I'll just stop there. That are real good about that. They make business decisions. That's the best decision for the team's success. Sometimes that's immediate success. Sometimes it's down
So
the
it
road
just depends.
success. Sometimes success is develop this player this year,
right.
so they can be a role player this year, and then we're going to trade him at 5 times the value you got him. That's also the success part.
So then what is your opinion on, so let's take, because it's right here, is Garoppolo. I think he's a phenomenal talent.
Yeah.
When he gets his chance, and everything is of course dependent on the system. He's come up in the Patriot system, so hopefully he's the next in line.
He is most likely, and according to their actions, the Patriots' actions, he is most likely the Rodgers to Favre situation.
Okay.
That he's just going to come in and fire it and light it up and be done.
Yeah.
Most likely, because when they put him on the blocks last year to
Yeah.
see what the value was of him, and then they took him right off. To me, what that says is they're saying, hey, what is his value? Let's pretend like we're going to trade him off.
Yeah.
Because we're going to develop some of, you can create any kind of BS statement you want. So they do that, and then they say, okay, here's what everyone else thinks his value is. It's that of an elite starter. Okay, good. We've got our elite starter now, right? And they're paying him well, and they're taking care of him. They're doing all the things they need to do, like happened to Rodgers. Now, if Brady sits around for another 3 years, they're not going to be able to keep him.
Oh no.
But anyway, that's a whole nother deal. So they go back with Cutler. I'll estimate. Okay, do Vegas. Vegas says best case scenario is 8-8 for the Dolphins.
Oh
Okay, Vegas isn't wrong very often.
no.
Right? We'll just take statistical likelihood of what Vegas does, and I think they're 87 to 88% correct on all of their direct pick margins like that. So their best case scenario is 8-8. Well, 8-8 is not getting you in the playoffs, not in that division. Right?
No.
Forget it. You have zero chance. So you're gonna go spend $10 to $13 million to not make the playoffs? And it's the game, and I know everybody, but I think that the Dolphins are making decisions based on their fans. They want to sell tickets.
Yeah.
They want to sell jerseys. They want to keep the revenue up. I don't know what the motivational factor is behind that. And then the second thing is we don't know what really the situation with Tannehill is.
Yeah.
So maybe they're looking at a situation saying, we got a 50-50 chance Tannehill's career's over. So maybe let's spend the $10 million to get
How often has he been
Cutler
hurt
in.
the last couple of years? He's gotten hurt.
The first couple of years he was in, I think his shoulder and elbow issues or something, or broken rib. I'm trying to remember back because this was several years ago. But then he got through that, and he's been solid. I mean, he's been really solid.
What is your opinion on where he ranks within NFL quarterbacks? Middle of the road?
I'm not going to say it that way. I'm going to say it this way. He is a solid, consistent, reliable starter.
Unlike
Cutler.
Brock Osweiler? No, I'm sorry.
Osweiler, the Browns. I'm interested to see.
He went to the Browns.
I'm interested to see what happens there.
What other moves were made? Did any of the quarterbacks switch?
Any of the big moves? No.
No.
Going through my head real quick. I don't want to leave a lot of silence, but no, I don't think there's really any huge, massive things going on
Exciting.
as far as trades and stuff.
I'm
Yeah,
excited. I'm excited for the season.
it's gonna be good. Man.
Brings me joy. Anything else you want to talk about before we go?
Yeah. So the whole thing. This is more about your show than mine. So you like the sports. What is it about each of the particular sports that you like that draw you there? And then take the big three or the perimeter sports, and what are some of the factors that drive you away or keep you away from some of the other sports?
Well, I'm gonna go all over the place with this. Baseball, I don't really care for. I care a lot about. Let me go back. I think my love for sports originated from growing up in Boston.
Yeah, Boston's a huge sports town. I mean, everything is,
from the Bruins, Red Sox, Patriots, Celtics, just those. I mean, forget it. At any given time, and we're winning championships.
Yeah.
So we're all about sports. And we love our sports. And then you grow up watching with your family, and so it's just a thing. It's the thing you do. So I like watching, with our kids. But I do appreciate the athleticism of sports. So like soccer. I very much appreciate the athleticism of it. I cannot watch it. And I think some of it comes from the fact of never playing certain sports. Of course, when you play them, I think you appreciate them more. Like I appreciate the skill that it takes for golf. I can't watch it. Because again, I don't know the intricacies of it. I'm like, okay, he's like, the wind is doing this and the grass is doing this and he's got to hit it like this. And I don't understand it. Yeah. So I can't appreciate it. Baseball, I think, is too slow for me. I feel like it's not fun to watch. I feel like a lot of baseball players are out of shape. So I don't.
Yeah, we talked about that on the Real Talk before too. But
and they, and there's times it's boring. Outfield is just standing there. I mean, and that's not their fault. They're on defense. But it's too slow for me. With the amount of home runs that come out. I mean, there's so many big hitters now. It's like, it's fun. Like, that's great. But the game moves too slow. Basketball, I like. I don't like it as much anymore. Like I said before, I really loved the 80s, early 90s. I liked the bang bang kind of stuff.
So it's gotten too soft for you?
For me, it's gotten too soft. And it's... the way the times are going, and it's true. Everybody cares about money. I mean, most people play professional sports because they get to play something they love and make a lot of money. Money. But in doing that now, companies and people have to protect their brand. Mm-hmm. So, and I'll put Brady out there. I'll put whoever out there. Like, you don't want to see your marquee players get hurt.
Right.
You just don't. Otherwise, where's the product?
Right.
Because let's pretend tomorrow Brady was out and let's pretend they were horrible. I don't know. Like, without him. Because we know that he does. I could make a strong case with the fact that some people will be like, oh, well, I don't want to watch now. He's not playing. Yeah.
A lot of people won't go to the games. If their star guy isn't playing and just sitting on sideline or not even going to be there, they won't go.
Well, so like you even hear the complaint with, I think the Spurs did at one point, but at the time there was Timmy and Tony and, Manu.
Ginobili,
So there's games that Pop makes the decision of, you know what, we're already in the playoffs or whatever. I'm just going to sit my guys. So then the fans are upset, which is true. I bought a ticket. Granted, the other side of it is, well, no, you bought a ticket to watch the Spurs play. Well, no, I bought a ticket because I wanted to see Timmy play.
Yeah.
That's why I bought a ticket. And they don't play. So I get it, but it's too soft for me now. So much flopping, so much. And I really, especially with someone as big and athletic as LeBron is, I like to see that, kind of, like I said before, bang kind of plays. And not all the, I feel like you can watch any game, and Cleveland does it a lot, but any game, I would say. I feel like every time it goes from, they're on offense to defense. Someone's going, oh, what's the...
One of the 10 guys every time down the court.
Every single time they're complaining that they didn't get a call.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine, again, I'm not the one playing. So if it truly is something that's happening, one of two things. If it's happening both sides, just adjust.
Yeah.
Otherwise, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Just shut up. So... but I do appreciate the skill, again, the basketball, but I don't feel like enough players play both sides of the ball. So anytime somebody does play both sides of the ball, I get excited because I'm like, they are working their ass off for 40-something minutes, both sides of the ball. When someone is just an offensive player, to me, I feel like, okay, then you should make half the money.
Harden and Carmelo, that's going to be fun to watch this year.
Oh, my God. So then football, of course. Doesn't everybody love football?
Oh, that's what I'm thinking.
I actually, some people I know do not like football, and I don't like the words.
I'm gonna cut in. I'm gonna interrupt you. So Don asks that basically, do we think that some of the decline and the participation in youth sports is due to decreased attention levels due to technology and things of that nature, screen time?
Oh, the decreased participation of kids in sports?
Yeah, youth in sports. I paraphrase that. I didn't say it specifically, but again, those on-screen reads are
that's a very good question. I never thought of it that way, but I think so.
I'm going to say that I think it's this. I think it's the fact that in most major cities, your kids can't go outside and play.
Yeah.
And I mean, they can go outside and play, but you know what I'm saying? So it's like during our times, which was almost two different generations, but between two, but even both of ours, we'd disappear. Yeah. It's Saturday morning, the sun comes up. We watch one cartoon and we're gone until somebody's screaming for us to come in after the sun goes down.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we stopped in at some point and grabbed a sandwich and something to drink, or at somebody's house or somewhere, ate some dirt, something, right? But it was just gone.
Yeah.
Today's day and age, it'd be child abuse, neglect. Your child would probably be abducted. You know, I'm like all the crazy run over by a car, all the kind of stuff. I think is that we as a society in the major cities, because there's a lot of people in the outskirts of towns that are still better at it, and there's some neighborhoods that are built for it that we've discussed. I think the first thing is this we're too much on top of each other, so kids don't have the ability to get out and play and romp and do those things. So think of how many sports you tried. I know it's different for me because I think boys and girls during our time we grew up was different, but think of how many sports you tried or goofed around at just because other kids were doing it.
Oh, a lot. I mean, everything from we would race, we would play kickball, we would play tennis, we'd play badminton, soccer, everything.
And then so in today's day and age, to be able to accomplish that with a bunch of other kids, dude, it's impossible.
You have to go.
You got to schedule stuff. It's got to be organized. You're paying money just to try something, and it's a big deal because then you've got to buy
equipment.
And you get fees and all. So it's just, I think that's what it is. I do think technology plays a role, but I think that's secondarily, in my opinion.
But well, that's parenting.
Yeah.
And that's it's a whole other discussion. Any other questions, topics?
Oh man, I could just keep going and going.
I know we could keep on going, but
but you're gonna cut us, man.
What time? I mean, how long have we been on?
42 minutes.
Ooh.
I know that's a long time.
Okay, real quick, just because I'm curious your opinion. LeVar Ball.
Yeah.
Have you seen all of his
stuff about Jordan?
Everything.
He could beat Jordan one hand tied behind it or some kind of ridiculous. Whatever, dude.
LeVar Ball is the father of Lonzo. Is that his name?
Lonzo or Alonzo?
Whatever.
I'm gonna.
So they stirred up some stuff last week about getting that female ref taken out of the game or whatever, and then making comments about it. He makes all kinds of comments of how good he was. He's talking smack about Gronk. He made a statement to. He was on an ESPN show. I don't remember it right now. But he told so he's sitting in between, right? So I forget which show it is, but he's sitting in the middle, and then there's the female over there, and then the male up here.
Okay.
And they were asking him something about his shoes, like he made a sneaker.
Yeah.
And they're not selling, or they haven't sold yet, and they asked about that, and he kind of brushed it aside, and then she kind of pressed on it, and he basically was like, "Stay in your lane."
Okay, I think he is doing his damnedest to be the new and modern Money Mayweather.
Oh.
I think that's a trend, and I'm not trying to change subjects. I'm not going to talk about the fight or any of that kind of stuff. But what I am going to say is the publicity of the McGregor Mayweather fight is going to change all things moving forward.
Right, but that okay.
Sports. So that's what I think. That's what he's trying to do.
I get what you're saying, but although I don't like Mayweather,
yeah,
he has the record that he has.
Yeah.
Okay. He's an accomplished athlete, right? LeVar Ball's nobody.
Right.
At this point, he's a washed-up athlete. That's somebody's dad that won't shut up. So at some point, you have to be like,
that's how Mayweather started.
Oh my God.
That was his dad was the mouth until Mayweather started kicking everybody's ass.
Yeah.
And then Mayweather started to run his mouth, and his dad could sit back and just kind of support the.
I just don't. Yeah.
And to take it back, I don't want that to sound negative, because like the McGregor Mayweather thing, I don't care what anybody says, they're enjoying their asses off. I mean, they're having fun.
Yeah.
They really enjoy what the heck's going on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have toured the world doing it. And I mean, they love it. I mean, let's be real.
The money is
it's
secondary.
It's going to be $1 billion fight. So I mean, come on, you're gonna put together the highest grossing pay-per-view, and all you got to do is go around and all your travels are paid for. You get increased publicity for it. Your brand has gone through the damn roof. And you get to run your mouth like a complete imbecile to somebody else. And you get to all your mama jokes and the this jokes and that. I mean,
that's too much for
me.
I can't. I can't.
Right. But I mean, they're enjoying it. You know, I mean, I think they're really having a good time. And I think my opinion is that directly is going to change the promotions of many other sports. That, as ridiculous as this fight is, it might make boxing more relevant.
Poor boxing.
Right.
I feel for boxing right now. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay. So just discussion for another time, because I feel like we touched on it before, but athletes being role models, the example they set, is it their responsibility? Is it not? What have you? I don't like a lot of what I see in the news anymore, especially about athletes. And again, with so many different personalities, especially in sports and sports that are rough. you're not going to have perfect angels all the time.
No, impossible.
I get it.
Yeah.
But at some point, stop making these people millionaires.
Yes. And that's
I know
a
that's
whole rant for me.
That
can't.
is a very broad topic because just because someone's an asshole or whatever, like, you know, you can't.
I'm cool. If somebody's a jerk and an asshole and you like how they are on the court or field or pitch or whatever they're doing, I love it.
But if you're arrested and charged for crimes, you shouldn't. Convicted, yes. Convicted, no, I don't feel like.
If you're convicted of multiple crimes, especially violent crimes, I just think the league should not. Any of the leagues,
right? But if you
think
again, a lot of companies, it's their business decision not to take people who have records or whatever because of whether it's reputation or belief that whatever. But as a business, the NFL, if they feel like Joe Schmo, who although he was convicted of blah blah blah, he's good for our brand.
Yeah.
Does it matter to them?
To them. I think it's a slippery slope.
Is it their responsibility?
Some care and some don't, man. I mean,
right, but is that their responsibility? If Joe is good for the brand, why do I care?
I think this. I don't think the league should allow the teams to individually make the decision like that, because you're saying someone with the most interest in what's going on, financial interest and brand interest and all that stuff, is gonna make a decision on policy based on morals and ethics.
Yeah, no.
That's what I'm saying. The league needs to come in and say, this is the level we will tolerate. Here's the very definitive line of no. From here down, this is how we deal with it. From here up, this is how we deal with it.
We kind of discussed it earlier. It's just kind of like you can't go, well, you shouldn't go by the fans, especially now with the prevalence of social media.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I disagree with this. I'm just trying to make a point. You know, like with Ray Rice. You know, because there's video and because it was domestic violence. And so now the women are mad and some of the men are mad and da-da-da. So we have to do something. It was wrong. I'm not saying that. But are we basing suspensions or listen, you go Deflategate, you go whatever. What are we using to base these decisions on?
I think this is going to sound bad towards the attorneys and such that run the leagues. It's not that difficult to draw this stuff out. You can draw a personal conduct policy out.
Yeah.
That Deflategate, personal conduct policy. If you participate or, you know, allow or help or you accomplice or any of these things, collaborate to do, you pick your verbiage. I'm not going to try to do the attorney verbiage, but anything to directly affect the game and the play of the game or the score of the game or the outcome of the game, be it gambling or balls or paying refs off or whatever the hell it is, then you're immediately suspended for 1 year, for 12 months, whatever. And I'm not saying 12 months, but you have that there. Okay, there's still going to be an investigation that needs to be there. There still needs to be a checks and balances. That all needs to be there, but it's done. Then you say, Ray Rice, not him, just him. If admit to or are convicted, right, of domestic violence, that's it. You know, you're done. You're out. Oh, but everybody deserves a second chance. Okay, stop with that bullshit, because we all know the reality is when somebody gets caught, it's not the first time.
It's not the first time.
Drunk driving, you know, drug use. It was I didn't know. It was my first time ever. And, you know, they're 25 and they've had dilated pupils for the last 8 years. Oh, I never knew. What? I mean, come on. Let's be real with it.
Yeah.
How hard, from a branding point and a legality point, to say, we have a zero tolerance policy on domestic violence. If you have domestic violence, you're out of the league.
But that's the thing, is it's not hard.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
It's a matter
but no, just don't do it.
Yeah.
But I was drunk. Oh, you were publicly intoxicated? Oh, that's another misdemeanor, another
right,
you know,
and that's
so
easy.
just,
Again, that's easy for us to say on this side of the desk.
Yeah.
Right. But so these owners in the league, where all their money's coming from,
I just
they're
think,
not going to.
And this is the reality. And now this is me knowing the backside. There are so many athletes that are better than the ones playing that never get to see the professional field. Why? They had the flu the day the scout was there watching. You know, the person that put their tape together didn't get it to the right person at the right time. So it's just matters of circumstances coming through, or they didn't play the politics to get through, but they're really good, you know, and all this other kind of stuff. There's a lot of really good players that don't play on there. There's a lot of amazing players on practice squad teams that don't get their shot because of politics reasons, or just they came out at the wrong time. It was a year that nobody needed a running back, so only 2 running backs got drafted in the first 3 rounds. You know, it's one of those types of things. And if you take a hard stance on things like that, you're opening the door and the opportunity for some of these other athletes that are right, that are doing everything, you know, straight or by the books or whatever. You're giving a greater range of people opportunity. Hey, I'm going to pay you $10 to $20 million a year. All you have to do is don't commit a crime and play your game, and you're good.
Yeah, no. When you put it that way.
You know, I mean, it's as simple as that. You know, suffocate it down to exactly what it is, and it's easy. So, I mean, yeah, I'm for anybody, you know, for those still watching, my deal, my policy would be currently the instant, but I don't do anything. If you are on probation for anything, the period of time that you're on probation, you cannot be on TV. Done.
What do you mean?
So, whatever, domestic violence and all this other kind of stuff, the league doesn't, they can pass it off during this period of transitionary period while they're developing the policy. Pass it off. If you are convicted of domestic violence and you're on probation for 18 months, guess what you're not doing for 18 months? You're not being on TV.
Being on TV, you have to expand on that though. I don't
You can
understand
still
what you're saying.
practice look, we'll take football. You can still practice with the team. You can still be efficient at your game. You can still do all these things. You can attend the games, because if you're in the stadium and the TV passes you or whatever, it's not.
Okay, so you're just saying within the, because of course they can't control it. Within
Right.
that scope, not, they can still do interviews, they can still make their money.
No, they can't do interviews.
Okay.
So
that's,
no private interviews, nothing to personally develop their brand, enhance their brand.
can you stop that?
Personal. Yeah.
Okay.
You do that contractually with the league. It's like policy 1, transition in. You know, and again, I'm not making the full legal policy, so I know people can jump on, and some attorneys will jump on and be like, but yes, generally speaking, you have to work out the kinks. If you're on probation, no TV, no interviews, no anything like that. You know,
What if they have contractual obligations with sponsors?
they better work that out with that sponsor. You know,
Yeah.
that's a penalty. Can't do it.
Yeah, but I think that'd be too hard.
You know, now, and some of that again was going to get into the deep legal stuff. Is that other person directly due to the NFL, or did they do that perimeterly outside on their own? If it's perimeterly outside on their own, yes, that's fine. They can do it. Can you stop them from broadcasting on YouTube? No, you can't stop them from broadcasting on YouTube. So there's certain things. That's what I'm saying, is that generally speaking, you can't be on national broadcast television
Maybe someday.
by anything controlled by the league. You know,
Yeah.
like expanding that legal term of it, whatever. But yeah, I think that's one of the big ones.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for everyone that watching and that had watched your show,
Watching. Hands to the face.
Hands to the Face, and it's hands, the number 2.
The number 2.
And then the face.
The face.
Yes. Unlightened Me, which we've got a couple episodes up, and I'm going to grab a little bit of this stuff. So it'll be kind of a episode 2.1. It'll be kind of in between.
I don't get my
It'll
own
be
episode.
It'll be a full episode, because it's not really, it's a merger thing. Or maybe we'll title
Still
it
an
fancy.
episode.
So it counts?
Oh my God.
So episode 3, whatever. It'll be good. So it'll be up. It'll take a couple days to do the edit. Now that I know what I'm doing,
Good, you can do it. And then I can post it on my YouTube.
and then steal it. Yeah, I know how that works. But yeah. So if you guys enjoyed it, please visit our pages. Pretty much everything for mine is Jason C. Powell. Yours is Kai Powell.
Kai_Powell on Instagram, and then
yeah.
I'll have my own Hands to the Face on Facebook. So
Okay, so it'll have its own page.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I'm just going public
I
on
have to be
everything. I'm too lazy.
I have to be separate.
Yeah.
Too much kids stuff and all kinds of other stuff. in my
So
private pages.
so visit it. Subscribe, like us, all of those things.
Please like me.
Lord, all those things. And if you want to see anything, let us know. I mean, I'm wide open with my topics. Anything sports related, let Steph know.
Sports, entertainment, and their surrounding culture.
Yes, and I would just enjoy to offend you. Thank you. Peace to you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.